When you look out across all of these different crafting materials, you have to look very deeply to see what they can become. Can you see what my vision is for them this week? Well, you're just gonna have to stay tuned to find out. Actually, you saw the thumbnail, so I'm making a wand this week. Wait till you see how excited I am in the intro. I am so excited for this one. This one's gonna be so awesome. I'm very excited. Okay. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Garmin. This, of course, is the Storycraft Society, and I'm super pumped for this week's video. Little bit of backstory. I am going to be playing in a game of D&D. I don't play a lot. I end up running a lot of games, so I'm excited to get to play in one this weekend. I am going to be playing as an aristocratic sorcerer from Coupled Press's Deep Magic book. It's a really fun sorcerer archetype, and I'm really excited about the character, but specifically this character's spellcasting focus is a wand. I don't know what it is with my players, but no one in my friend group of D&D folks ever really use wands as spellcasting focuses, and I think that they are super cool. So I wanted to make an awesome prop for my character. I've never made a wand before. I actually don't even know how to start, although I have some ideas in my head. More specifically, and to be clear, I do not recommend this, I avoided looking up any kind of videos online of how to do this. I am just gonna be shooting from the hip on this one, and it'll either turn out really good, and it'll be awesome that I ended up with a great looking wand, or it will be a compendium of things not to do, in which case hopefully that will be entertaining for you. But with that said, it's time to dive down to the mat. We're gonna start drawing and sketching out an idea. Then I'm gonna go to the store. Hopefully I can make this thing into a reality. Let's go. All right, so here is my plan, and I am not an artist, so do not judge me. Drawing skills, subpar, I know it. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna think I've got my wand, right? So it's gonna be like this. And then what I want is some kind of a wrist guard kind of thing, type situation. Then I'm gonna have the handle, which is gonna be like this. I'm gonna use string and go across that like that to make it look all cool and wrapped. Then I'm thinking another one of these, like this thing is the same as that. And then ideally what I would like is some kind of a ball on the end, and then a gem sticking. Does that look like a gem? Does that kind of look like a gem? A little sparkly? I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. What can I do to make this happen? I don't know. But now it's time to go to the store and see if we can make this into a reality. I have returned from the store and I have things. All right, this is all wand stuff, which is great. We're gonna do wand stuff. But also, here's a little sneak peek for some stuff that's going to be coming on the channel. I found this super large chess piece. This is going to be something cool. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it will be cool. And then spray craft foam. There's a video in there for sure. Let's move on to what I got in there. All right, let's dive through this bag here. So first things first, I got this very ridiculously large paintbrush, but if you pull the ferrule and bristles off, this looks very tip of a wandy. We'll see. Okay, so there's that. I got another very massive brush. Figure I can use that for like a handle. Then we've got these things. I don't even know what they are. It says semi-precious stones bead landing, but I think they could be the little like hand guard thing maybe. Okay, string to wrap around the handle. I found these super cool like little wood bead things that can definitely go onto the back. It's exactly what I was looking for there. And then lastly, I got this thing of like decorative fillers for in vases, and I figure I could probably find a cool stone out of this to go into the back of it. I mean, it basically was the most ideal shopping trip I could have asked for, although it ended up being pretty expensive. This brush by itself, I think was like 15 bucks, which is a lot for me to just hack it up to use as a piece of a prop, but all right, let's dive into it. So to start this off, I'm going to do a few things. So I'd really like to get these two handles to be the same color or woodiness as these. So let's see, can I even get in? Gracious. Okay, I didn't even realize these are different sizes. That's crazy. If I wanted those to all be the same size, I'd be disappointed. I would like for these two to be the same color as this. So what I need to do is get out a piece of sandpaper and go over the whole surface. Get them looking like this. So, two things that I've learned. Sanding sucks. It takes forever, and also paintbrush handles, I guess, really don't want to lose their stain or paint or whatever. I went for like a long time on this black paintbrush, and it like didn't take the stuff off hardly at all. I got a little bit down to the wood here or there, but more importantly, what happened is I got it down that they are both smooth. So I think what that's going to allow me to do is then paint over them to get the kind of look that I want. I think what I would like is for all of the exposed wood areas to be black. That's a little bit of a cop-out because this is black, but also because I think that it'll look cool for it to look like that smooth, I don't want to say sinister look, but something like that. And then I can use the gemstones to give me an extra pop of color at the end. So the next step is going to be to get this cut into pieces to be my handle, and then I think we can start working on assembling some stuff. So with this all cut off, the vision of the wand is starting to kind of come together here. If you imagine this here and that there, that'll be one side. And then if you have that same thing here, that will be the other side. The next step is going to be to start assembling at least the front part of the wand. So this piece and this piece. So what I did was I drilled holes into either of my pieces. I took a double-headed screw and I threaded those into both. Then I took my disc piece and I fed that onto one end and then tightened them down so that they fit. Once I knew that the fit was good, then I took and added super glue to the mix, and that just holds everything nice and firmly together. But here's where we are so far, looking really good. I'm excited to see what happens next, and that's gonna be getting this ball joint together. This one is a little more interesting because we have all of these kind of crystal things, and what my plan is to find a way to get it so that I could cut away so that the gem would sit in the end and would look really neat. I really like the dark blue, although the green could look cool with the black. No, I think the blue is cooler. It's not gonna pop as much with the black, but I think this will be just fine. So now what I need to do is cut away so that this will fit down in there. Actually, I decided that if I don't go big way, but I flip it over and go pointy way, I actually can kind of get this to fit down in kind of nicely, right, like that. And I think that that looks cool for the most part. I actually could cut out just a couple of little places here and here, and then that'll set down even better. And then I'm gonna mix up some wood putty and lock this bad boy into place. All right. So if you pull out some sawdust like this, you can actually make some really nice wood putty. What you do is take and just mix that with Elmer's glue. If you want to do this even better, you can use wood glue. And then what you're going to do is mix that up into a paste. And then that should be more than what I need to be able to set this gemstone in place and then make it look like it was just built into that wood ball. Now I've got it into a paste. Push that down into a little spot here. And then I will take my gemstone, set that down into it. And then the last thing that I'll do is take my tool here and scrape that excess off. And then I can take and run over all those areas with my finger to smooth it all out.
And now for the dreaded dry time.
Dry time. So actually, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I can double stack my dry time because I need to be working on the grip for this, and that's going to be using this twine. So the next step that I can do is get this super glued on. Now that's not going to be a permanent fixture because obviously I have to use the screw to connect it to the other piece there, and then that will allow me to start wrapping this. I'm just going to put PVA glue. Specifically, I'm going to switch over to tacky glue, I think. That is next. And then while this is drying, that's drying, and all the things dry together. Okay, so So it is the next morning and the glue is all dry, which is great. But what I did last night a little bit off camera was just do stuff that I already showed earlier, which was I drilled the pilot holes for the back bit here and I inserted the screws so those are ready to be attached. So the next step is going to be attaching this ball with the gem in it to the end of our wand. So the way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna mix up a bunch of wood putty the exact same way that we did in the first part of the video. We're gonna squish that down in here, push this on, get it looking nice around there, and then we've got another dry time. While this is drying, we have one thing that we can kind of take care of here. All of our twine here has a bunch of flyaways. You can see all the little bits of string that, you know, stick up. Well, a really easy way that you can take care of those is to pull out your matchstick thing, lighter guy, and you just take that and very quickly go over the whole thing, and that will quickly just burn all those up, and it won't even leave a mark, which is really, really, really nice. Easy peasy. So the last few things that I had to do on the wand were fairly simple and they all involve paintbrushes. So the first one is I needed to paint the wand black. So I took all of the areas where there was wood and I used just a cheap black acrylic craft paint, you know, the 50-cent bottles from Walmart, and I put that all over just to give the wand a nice clean, sleek look. I really like this because my wand is supposed to be for my character, which is an aristocratic sorcerer, so I wanted this to have a well-made, noble feel to it, and the black did just that. The next step was to put varnish over the whole thing. So I used two different types. On the gem, I used Ard Coat, which is a gloss varnish from Citadel. And the whole reason that I did this was because for whatever reason, these particular stones had a matte finish to them, or at least a not shiny finish. So I really wanted that sparkle on the end of the wand, and Ard Coat did this just perfect. It did take me 2 coats, but once I got both of those coats on, the gem just sparkled exactly how I wanted to. Then the second type of varnish that I did was called Storm Shield, and this is another varnish from Citadel. This one instead is marketed as a matter varnish, I guess. The thing that I'll say about this is I don't think that this is a matte varnish at all. I think it is way closer to a satin, but it's not a gloss, and so I took that and put 2 coats over all of the areas that I painted black. That way, when I'm handling this thing, I don't have to worry about accidentally rubbing the acrylic paint off or reactivating it with sweaty hands or whatever. So, with that said, I finished my first wand. I mean, I'm so beyond stoked about that. Is this thing perfect? No. There's a bunch of things that I could have done different. There's a bunch of things that I think I could have done to make the process easier or smoother, but those are all for another day. Today is for being excited about completing my first wand for a character that I'm excited to play. So next time I might try and take a couple of steps to like look up what other people do to see if I could end up with an even better product than this, but I couldn't be more happy. So if you enjoyed the content, definitely leave me a like down below. Leave me a comment of what you think. Have you ever made a prop like this? If you have, I would love to know what your thoughts on the whole experience are. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That goes a long way to helping a small YouTube channel out, and the #1 way that you can help a small YouTube channel out is to share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. But that's all I've got for this week. So until next week, that was awful. I'll be seeing you.